In lieu of anybody saying anything reasonable about this, then let me just tell you something. If somebody had told me in 1995 that as part of the shutting down of the Soviet Union, that there needed to be a group of young people in the United States of age that were supposed to be a part of a long term process to redefine relations between the United States and Russia, and in concert with that, then be a part of other countries establishing a greater balance globally in order to help other people or to be a part of a kind of transition that addressed disparity, then I would have absolutely 100% been signed up in that. I would absolutely 100% have been a part of that. And if you had said that because of all of these different factors, including what kind of stuff I had access to by my family or where I come from, that these would be the kinds of things that over the next 25 years would be the kinds of things we would need to focus on. I don't know, public transportation. It doesn't involve child pornography, water, irrigation, appropriate sanitation and sewage systems, including in ways that take responsibility for the distinctions in different geographies and also adjust or can be adjusted considering what the environmental factors are. I absolutely would have been involved with that. I would have been happy to have been involved with that. I wouldn't have gotten all egotistical and prissy about how it was going to make my skin look. That's not the kind of person I am. But that's not what you did. You tried to make me a sexual service vehicle to corrupt politicians that had every intention of extorting people into normalization to legalization of dangerous drugs. That gateway to thinking you're entitled to use biological, chemical, radiological weapons just because what? You want to get somebody elected? No, you did it all wrong. What if, in the meantime, what happened was you ended up kidnapping people who were actually from the countries of the former Soviet Union. You ended up kidnapping people that were actually from other countries involved with that development model. You kidnapped them. You tortured them. You harvested their genetic materials. You lied about them in secret reports that you circulated among each other in order to try to slander them and dispossess them of their own capacity to participate. You did everything you could to apply pressure and characterize their nations as terrorists, while you exhibited the worst failure of leadership in the United States. And then 25 years later, they're like, you know what? We're not going to just go to war and get into that big festive, orgiastic death and destruction the United States is trying to pump into us hormonally for the last 25 years. There's actually some development we actually need to invest in as a sound public work around which we can develop local financing and maybe even national infrastructure, including financial and technology infrastructure. It doesn't involve child pornography. It really seems at the end of the day, what the breaking point is that I just refuse. I just refuse to acknowledge the legitimacy of whatever you let the Clinton era set up when it agreed to try to make me into a teenage prostitute that was supposed to keep prostituting year after year after year after year. It really just seems like the major breaking point is that I just would have said no. If the President of the United States had come up to me when I was 15 years old and said he wanted me to sign up to be one of his special girls and exchange sex for money for the next 25 years to get his wife elected president, I would have said no. And I've said no every single fucking day. But you won't acknowledge that was the deal. You won't acknowledge that he literally stole my driver's license and wanted sweet charity to launder money to destabilize the world and make his wife look very attractive as the first female president. And that it seems everything about our domestic and foreign policy, up to and including our military strategy, and up to and including our nuclear strategy, has been predicated upon that. And the truth is, right now, I'm in ground zero. Because that all goes back to, well, ... That's why you need an alternative development model to the one that the United States has been trying to jackboot thuggery all over the damn world.